What's good? What's good, YouTube family? The Anunnaki gods from Nibiru that conquered man. I go by the name Pushy Push. Down below is my TikTok at pushy.push. Definitely go over there and check out some of those videos and subscribe. Also, drop a like and subscribe right here to my YouTube. And check out pushypush.com. Head over there, family, and sub to there also. But let's jump into this one right here. What is the New World Order to you? The New World Order. For me, it has always been a thing of like microchipping people and, government takeover and bloodline families ruling over everyone in the world. That has been the New World Order for me. But that has changed as, you get to studying and I understand with a different look what the New World Order is. And it's a lot more scarier than what I personally even imagine, So this picture right here is an example of this New World Order. See, for me now, the New World Order is not simply taking over, the way people think, you know, this New World Order is the erasing of previous paradigms to such extent you don't remember them anymore. It is the wiping away of a whole paradigm. That is what the New World Order is. In that world order, you won't remember the old language. You won't remember the old gods you might have praised. You won't remember even how you built or even mathematics. In the New World Order, those things will be replaced. So that is what this image is representing right here for me. This is the New World Order. There is an order that requires man to be like obedient. And this starts with our government. So I'm saying our government is under this New World Order, which puts us under a New World Order. So some things to remember as we go forward, because what I'm going to show is this New World Order, as in who the possible people are that our government is praising. I want to show the actual battle that seems to had happened that broke our governments to such extent that's the reason why they praise. And I want to show that mankind actually aided this entity that is over our government. So it's a lot to take in right here, but something to keep in mind: the glow around this man's head and the triangle necklace. I just want you to remember those right there, because those two symbols is going to show up, and that is what's going to begin to reveal, what is causing our New World Order. So I believe that something came and wiped out our last paradigm, and now we are in a new paradigm. And I believe some families have survived that paradigm, having to be underneath this entity right here. Our governments, like I said, is underneath this. So the New World Order has been placed on the governments of the world. And if the governments of the world have to believe or praise a certain way, then that subject will fall upon man itself. So I do believe that our world is governed by an entity that is higher than our governments or kings itself. So we get into this one right here. I previously showed this picture right here in the last video, but I wanted to express it in a different manner, because it tells the many new world orders that we've had, So just on its face, it's a UFO event that it's said to had happened in Straussland. So over in Europe, near Holland, you can see the Hague in the back. So over here in Europe during the 1600s. Now I've had things to where I felt like there might have been 1,000 years. So this is could possibly definitely be like in the 600s. But to look at it at itself, those are UFOs in the background. Those are UFOs. The three hands that's coming out of the clouds. What that is three flood events the world went through. Like this entity can only defeat us by flooding the world. So there's three flood events that flood that literally put us on a reset, that create a new world order. So you see Noah's boat down there. You can look at that as one event. And then there's a second flood event. And the most recent one is the one that we're looking at. And we call that the mud flood. We call that Tartaria. So I've been trying to identify this second flood event that happened. But this is what this is showing. Three flood events, starting with Noah. So there is a battle that happened possibly in 1665 or 665, where something came and defeated our kingdoms to the point where we're subject to it. We have to praise it. Our religion has been changed from what it was even in the past right here. But you see the eyes on the cup, those eyes on the cup. It's no different. This is what's over our government right here. And I believe that this destruction is a plant destruction based off, man's rebellion. So we're going to look further right here. So just keep in mind that these are UFOs. There has been more than one flood event going as far as back as Noah. And this event that I'm going to be talking about is the last event that caused the mud flood. And it's crazy because there are coins that show this event. Just to touch on this one more time, it said, did you know about the 1665 air battle of Straussland? So this is a UFO, and it's over Straussland, which is a star fort city. You can see the kings right there. Something that I was saying in the last video, the people, when this entity came, they looked at this entity as a divine figure. So it's not the factor that it's angels or angels came. This is the mindset that people had when they looked at this entity. They looked at it as divine. So it's burning and destroying up everything. And they're feeling like almost like God came and attacked them. So to just keep that in mind, at times, the angel will represent the UFO, so in this situation right here. So we go a little further, just zooming into here to get to the meat. This is a 1653 coin. This is the same place. This is Straussland. And you can see there's a UFO above the city. There's a UFO above the city. So if we go back, UFO above Straussland. And then a whole bunch of UFOs above Straussland with the name of the leader or who they might be. So that name in the cloud is Yahweh. It could be Yahwehians, because I've read things where there were actually a people versus a god. But those are UFOs. And if you look at that, the sketch shows the UFO even closer over the city burning everything. And this is the actual UFO engraved on a coin. So this isn't AI right here. This is something that is reflecting history. And I don't necessarily feel like it had to happen in 1650, like 53. It could be commemorating an older moment or older time. But nevertheless, that is an alien ship over, or a Nibiru ship to me, over um, one of our Starfort cities. If we look in close, the name of the people or the name of the God is in the ship. So right there, that is Yahweh's name right there, engraved in the top of the ship. We go back, that is what's on here, engraved in the top. So it's saying like almost the God of Israel has flooded the world 3 times. And our last flood that we know about, this mud flood event, could have been by the same God or people. I more so look at it as people versus a God, though. But that is the name Yahweh right there in the spaceship. And I show on this coin right here, you know, that's the same name. So there's 3 syllables right there. So 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you go back, it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all the syllables are the same. The symbols are the same. And that is Yahweh. And here it says, fear God, honor thy king. So this Yahweh right here is the entity that's in this ship. So far as I'm concerned, the Yahweh isn't a God. It isn't the Most High. It is probably people from beyond who have defeated us. And I think we're like subject to it, you know, and we're possibly have been attacked by this thing more than once. And it requires man to praise it like a God. And it also runs our government. So this is what we're seeing inside of our church, inside of our Bible. This Yahweh, it's saying it comes from a UFO. Let's go a little deeper. I wanted to show you a comparison. This right here on the right side is the name Yahweh up in the cloud. It is the exact like type of city, you know, but this is Hamburg right here. So we're talking the same type of city. Now the difference is you see a full UFO on the left with Yahweh's name on the top, and it has clouds. So it can produce its clouds. It can hide itself in clouds. And then on the right, you see the name Yahweh, and it's in the cloud. So we go back. That name Yahweh that's in that ship, that is what's going on. That is what has attacked us. We have been taught to praise this Yahweh, and the historians who cannot write this in books because they burned them and they have to put these on coins. So I had to definitely find these and put this together right here. But they're showing that this cloud symbol on the right with the name Yahweh, it is the exact same image on the left. So when they're trying to keep this information from you, you will see it Yahweh right there on the right with the cloud. And I'm showing you when the truth is revealed, you're going to see the spaceship with Yahweh's name in it. And that is what has conquered us. So we have been at war with the very God that's inside of the Old Testament that we're being taught to praise. Where we have been at battle, and it has reset us at least 3 times. So let's jump right here. This right here is a great example, and possibly the example of this airship attacking during this time period. So you can see a fireball right there. And down below to the right on this coin, that is a star fort. And then you see the boats on the back end. So I want y'all to remember that right there. But when you're looking at this, this is looking at it from a helicopter view. So it's looking downward. So something is shooting downward towards this star fort on the right. And this is what I'm showing you right here. What is shooting right there downward? It's a UFO. Go back right here. That is what's attacking. So these things started shooting this place. And that's what they were doing even in our past. These UFOs are the ones who are shooting right here during this time period right here. You can see the boats. That is a star fort. Now watch this. The coins start to show how strong this bomb was, or this fireball was. So here are the boats right here. And you can see the light as if the light is approaching. They're like showing their point of view. So you have to look at it like this. It's a fireball coming. The fireball is getting closer to that image in the background. Those two buildings right there. That's the star fort. So the fireball is headed there. Now look. This is the aftermath. And this is on the coins. This is not AI. This is literally on the coins. People took the time to illustrate this right here. And you can see that is a big explosion on the left. And then on the right side, you can see the power of the explosion with a plume of smoke in the back. And again, you see these boats right here. So let's kind of go back and you can look at this in procession. You have your UFOs right there. And let's go back just a little further. The UFO is burning the city. You just saw the fireball. This is what's causing Straussland to burn. It's because this UFO is firing at the city. That UFO with Yahweh's name in it, the one who's conquered the world at least 3 times with water. That name is the one that's firing. So if it's the Yahweh people, if it's the Nibiru people, the Anunnaki people, you know, they have been around and our governments are subject to this. This is the reason why we're subject. We can't beat it. It shows it on arrival to those buildings in between. And then it shows the actual hit 2 times. It shows the hit and one with a definition inside of the explosion. And this is the aftermath. So there's the boats right there. And obviously there is a big explosion. This is how we get to a new world order. It's because the old way we are living has been destroyed. The government, the kingdom, and possibly only a few people, meaning kingdoms who abide, survive. So this is how we get to our mud flood. This is why the buildings that we are seeing that are halfway underground or fully underground, full cities underground, covered by dirt and mud, this is the event that's causing that. Now, the question is the time, 1600 or the 600. But this level of destruction is the reason why we don't remember and the reason why they can completely rewrite our past. This part right here is meant to show that you had kingdoms working in conjunction with this Yahweh entity or Yahwehan people, whoever this entity is that I believe possibly comes from beyond the ice wall. But it says right here, Siege of Straussland, 1628. I was showing this in the last video. You know, it shows several kingdoms. So down at the bottom, you'll see like it looks like a kingdom. It's just several kingdoms that came together to fight this star fort right here. What's interesting is the very back. I want you to look at this. In the back, where it's in the very back where the K is, there's ships going all the way around the star fort in the very back. That star fort right there, that back end, is this right here. This is the back end of that painting. So here's the ships right here. These are the ships. The fireballs coming down. This is the back end. That's what you're looking at. These ships are all on the back end. So you see right there, these ships are all on the back end. And this city is being fired upon. So the coin and the painting is literally corresponding with each other. This one is interesting because we go back to having to understand these signs and these symbols, So what I was showing was the armies are working, or certain kingdoms are working with this entity to conquer other nations. So this is the reason why you have so many families ruling in our world, in particular governments, is because those families has been there placed since the last paradigm. This is that example right here. So this on here has Leopold's name on here, King Leopold. But the picture on the left, the coin on the left, it looks like the army is walking against what's in the sky. It's actually not walking against what's in the sky. It's walking with, and it's being guided. So this cloud, I want you to look at that. You see the triangle right there and the big light out of that right there. So I'm saying this cloud, triangle, the big light right here is guiding this army. They're together. This is the UFO right here. So we go back one more. Just go back right here. That's the UFO right there. Yahweh right there. So when we're right here, that is what you're looking at right here. That is the UFO. They definitely did their job, but they're showing you that nations walked with this entity to take over basically the world. I wanted to show this from this perspective because, again, you have to look at the symbolism in order to see that our governments had to, they were conquered. Our governments were conquered and they are subject to this. So that coin on the very far left, that's the army walking. And I'm saying the very thing in the cloud is the spaceship with people in it. The coin in the middle, the cloud up there. You see the man right there. He's in the cloud. You see the coin on the left. It's in the cloud. You see the triangle around the man's head. You see on the coin on the left, the triangle in the cloud. You see how the triangle in the cloud has this glare off of it like a bright light. The coin on the left has the glare around it like a bright light. So this is telling you right here that there are people in a UFO that is bombing, Star Fort cities during our last paradigm. If you look at the bottom of the gold coin, there is a ground force army and they're shooting what looks like bombs into that star fort. So this is Straussland again. They're dropping bombs from the ground. Well, that's the coin on the left. The coin on the left, the silver coin, that is the ground force helping this entity that's in a UFO. Right now, the coin is showing you. This is not AI right here. The coin is literally showing you right here. And if we look to the further right here, that is the end game. You see the triangle on his neck. That's the end game. What's that around that man's head on the coin? The triangle. You see the glow around his head? What's that around that man's head? The glow. This is the end game. We have been conquered by a group of people, in my opinion. And we are subject to it because our governments are subject to it. Basically, what you're looking at is people with low tech helping people with high tech fight regular people, fight the last paradigm. This right here, what you're looking at, is what took away the last paradigm. It's why it's under mud. This is what created the mud flood. And it's hard to believe. But your Bible literally tells you it's just how the story is presented. Ultimately, the Yahweh right there, the Yahweh in the cloud, the Yahweh man right here on the right, they want you to praise them. They're not gods, they're not the most high. They want you to praise them. And in return, they'll let you live. Uh, they will help you fight your enemies. And that's what they're doing right here. They're helping this king fight their enemies. So that's what you're looking at. This is the ground forces on the left. And on the gold coin, you can see the ground forces helping this entity fight. That is what that is right there. It's a UFO. So the coin on the left, silver, the man in the middle, in the cloud, that is what's in there and what they expect and what we got defeated by. It's in the UFO. There's the boats right there. There's the name Yahweh right there up at the top. That says Yahweh right there. So the Yahweh could be a people like Yahwehans, though we've been taught like a single God, or it could be literally like how you see it right here. The Yahweh people have a supreme being, and we're expected to praise it like if it's our most high. This is what took us out right here. And they put this on coins. You can't write this in a book. They would burn the book like they have done in our past. It says right here, Yahweh is the name of the national God of the ancient kingdom of Israel and Judah, often referred to as the God of Israel. So that is the Yahweh right there. The God of Israel is the Yahweh. Well, I'm saying this Yahweh is people who come in a ship from either beyond the ice wall, our history might say Nibiru, but this is what is being praised in the Old Testament. And this thing right here has conquered the world at least 3 times with water. This is maybe is the reason why in the scriptures Israel praised it. It's because it was going to destroy them. So either you praise it or it destroy you. That is what that is right there. To really look at this, the Yahweh name goes as far back as the Roman time period. And I think the Roman time period has something to do with our last paradigm. But literally, Justinian praised Yahweh. This is Roman money right here. And they praised Yahweh. The I on there later becomes a J, so it becomes justice. Down below the I, right there, it says Judex. If you look at the coin on the right, you see the E, what they did to the E, they turned it into an A. Now it's Judah. If you put the J there on the I, see the God of Israel, Judah, that is the God of Israel's people. Well, I'm saying their God, that God that we're taught to praise, conquers us. It is not the most high. It is over our governments. It is over us. It is making us praise it. And if we don't, it is going to create another reset. It seems like every time we rebel and we go against it, it destroys the world. This entity requires our kids. That's part of the religion, is that you must hand over the children. Even our government has a deal with these entities, I've heard, to where part of that deal was they were able to take people for technology. So we're under something. We're not in full control, and our governments aren't in full control. This is what caused our last reset. The New World Order is the factor that you have something that has put in power new people, that has created new kingdoms. So that means that it did away with all the old kingdoms. How? It flooded and bombed them. That is what we have went through. And we're in the middle of this new world order, meaning that it seems like it most recently happened possibly about 1,000 years ago. That's the reason why they're throwing a thousand on to totally knock off the time. But the next video, family, is going to be really, really deep. This video was just to show like we have been attacked. So we want to rule that out right there. We have been attacked. The notion that the Most High was mad and told Noah to pack up and get ready, to me, is not true. To me, there is another body of people, and they have been using people to keep their message going. So even if they destroy again, there will be some families alive. All of us will probably be unalive, but there will be some families alive. And those families will introduce the new world order, the new law, the things that we rejected, they will go and reintroduce to the world again. And that is where we're at right now. The moment that we stop doing those sacrifices, that's when this entity is going to show its face. Our government is right now doing the bidding, and in return, it gets technology, the nuclear bombs, to make sure that we don't uprise. But they are stronger than the nukes. So until the next time, family, this was going to get deeper, going to reveal everything that I know. I'm going to try to reveal it, because I don't believe that they're telling the story properly. Hopefully these coins was a good eye opener, because somebody spent money to have that printed. It's not in a book. If it was in a book, it'd be burnt. So until the next time, family, thank you.